Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to measure a room for a kitchen installation. This is the example room we'll be using. It's a typical kitchen and will show how to measure walls, windows, doors, ceiling height, and electrical and plumbing points. You'll need a tape measure, a sketch pad, and a pen or pencil. A laser tape measure and a cell phone or digital camera are optional but very helpful. Start by making a rough line drawing of the room. Mark all wall openings, doors, and windows. Indicate the direction each door opens, and try to keep the drawing as proportionally accurate as possible. Now we're ready to start the actual measurements. In this example, we're measuring between two inside corners. The best method is to measure to a round number, mark that point on the wall, and then measure from the other corner to the mark. Add the two measurements together to get an accurate result. Write the measurement down next to the relevant wall on your line drawing. The second wall is straightforward. Measure it and write the measurement down. Our next wall also includes a door. First measure the full length of the wall and write it down. Now we need to break this up. So, measure the usable wall space from the corner to the outer edge of the door frame. Next up, measure the door from outer edge to outer edge of the frame. Now measure the remaining part of the wall. Make sure that the sum of the three measurements equals the measurement of the full wall. It may also be a good idea to indicate on your drawing which measurement is the full wall length. Our next wall includes a window. Start by measuring the full wall length. Record the measurement on your drawing. Next, we have to break the wall up and measure each separate section. Write the measurement down next to the relevant wall on your line drawing. Just like the previous wall, indicate clearly which measurement is the full wall length. Also measure the window sill height. To indicate this on your line drawing, draw a window section next to the window, showing the window sill and the window. Write the window sill height in. Now measure the window height, and write that in. Our next wall is also between two inner corners, so just copy the method used on our first wall where we marked the wall on a round measurement and then added the rest of the wall length to that. And write that down on your floor plan. Our next wall has an opening to what may be a living room or a dining room. As before, first get the full length of the wall, using the same method we used to measure between two inner corners. Enter the full wall measurement on your floor plan. Our next step would be to separately measure each section of the wall and write the each measurements down next to the relevant wall section. And to prevent confusion when you hand the measurements over to a kitchen designer, also indicate clearly which measurement is the total length of the wall. Next up, the height of the opening in this may or may not be important in your design. We believe it is better to have and not need than to need and not have, so just measure it anyway. To do this, put the end hook of the tape measure on the floor, directly under the beam. To anchor the hook, simply put your foot on it. Then extend the tape measure upward, bending it against the bottom of the beam. The measurement should be taken where the measuring tape touches the bottom of the beam. To compensate for the bend in the tape, you then subtract 3 mm from the measurement. Enter the height next to the beam on your floor plan. It is also a good idea to give your kitchen designer ceiling height of the room. Measure this the same way that you measured the bottom of the beam. Ceiling height may vary quite dramatically across the room. So think about where you may have cupboards going up to the ceiling in your design, and measure the ceiling height in various places. Enter these measurements on your floor plan, in the same places you measured the ceiling heights. Let's look at measuring and recording the measurements of a plumbing cluster. So look at these 3 plumbing pipes as one item. Measure the width, the distance from the nearest corner, the height, and the height off the floor. Record these measurements on your plan like this. Distance to the nearest corner, cluster width, cluster height, and height from floor. Any electrical points or gas points can also be grouped together and measured in the same way. Remember, you can never give a designer too many measurements. It is very easy to not give him enough though, which means there will be back and forth phone calls, emails, and time wasted. With a floor plan like this in hand, and a rough idea of what your kitchen should look like, any kitchen designer worth his salt should be able to design your kitchen.